The session is on holistic education, multidisciplinary education with special reference to Indian ethics and values. Of late, Government of India has come out with a national education policy. It is a comprehensive framework for elementary education to higher education, including vocational training in both rural and urban areas. The policy aim is to transform India's education system by 2030. 28 languages to be used in teaching and learning. General formula is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. A certificate after completing 1 year, a diploma after completing 2 years, and a bachelor's degree after completing 3 years, and 4 years multidisciplinary bachelor's degree. It is preferred option. Indian knowledge system. Initiatives have been taken to guide research and propagate indigenous knowledge. This is very important. More emphasis here is on indigenous knowledge and Indianness, Indian tradition and culture. National education policy, as you know, it emphasizes more on native knowledge, tradition and culture, including Indianness, very important one. Altogether, for this national education policy, the committee obtained over 2 lakh suggestions from various institutions and individuals. So basically, what is holistic education? India is a land of saints and sages. Their approaches was holistic education. Therefore, Government of India emphasizes on Indianness, which focuses on holistic education. Holistic education means learning approach that activates the learner's intellect, emotions, imagination, and body for more effective and comprehensive level of educational experience. In a way, holistic education promotes creativity. Very important aspect here is creativity and critical thinking and connections across disciplines. It encourages higher order of thinking skills and develops an in-depth understanding of important concepts. Holistic education, it covers not only mind and body, but it also covers the spirituality. That is the focus of Indian philosophy here. So we speak about interdisciplinary research, which is most important nowadays. For example, climate change. The subject is interdisciplinary. It does not just focus on science of climate change, but also brings in statistics to analyze data, geography, to explore the global impact that it creates, and language to express ideas through writing. The technique is to blend different concepts together and create a more vibrant and clear picture. Interdisciplinary approach is more important nowadays because a subject alone, solo research is not recommended nowadays. Synoptic oriented research and mission oriented research we have to think of nowadays. Multidisciplinary approach is also there, which emphasizes more on multidisciplinary approach, especially in studies and research. As against solo research. Solo research means best example I would like to quote is the research done by Thomas Alva Edison and Madame Curie. They sat in the laboratory alone and did research, and there was really a good contribution to the gamut of knowledge. That is solo research, individual research. Now the trend is team research. For example, launching ISRO satellite, launching communication satellites, which requires a physicist, knowledge of physicist, contribution of a physicist, researchers in the area of physicist, mechanical engineers, including electrical and electronic engineers, all they come together to achieve a common goal, that is launching satellite. Communicate, maybe communication satellite and any other satellite. Geologists are also there. Cryogenics is also involved. Electronic engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, all come together to achieve a common goal. This is multidisciplinary research. Even you can take the example of nuclear physics. Bapa Atomic Research Center, which is located in Bombay, focuses on nuclear physics, that is multidisciplinary. Even launching satellite, communication satellite, it is also multidisciplinary as against research done by Madame Curie, which is synoptic or solo research. As I said, India is a land of saints and sages. Vast literature exists today. Over the past 3 million years, 3 million years, right from Vedic period up to contemporary Indian philosopher, you can come across a lot of philosophers and lot of literature is also there. Nayanars and Alvars from Tamil Nadu, the Haridasas of Karnataka, including the Vachana Sahitya or Shiva Sharanas of 12th century, then saints of Maharashtra, Bhakti cult from Maharashtra and Bengal, Swami Vivekananda, including Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Chaitanya Maharaj. They have created a lot of literature, including the saints from North India, Tulsidas, Mirabai and all. Their contribution is very vast, including Shad Darshanas, 6 systems of Indian philosophy, which was there, started way back in 3rd century or 4th century before Common Era. It covers not only the Vedic philosophy but also Nyaya, Gautama's Nyaya Sutras, Kanada Rishi's Vaisheshika Sutras, Sankhya philosophy, Yoga philosophy, including Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. Uttara Mimamsa is nothing but Vedanta. All put together, we call it as 6 systems of Indian philosophy, Shad Darshanas. What are they? Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, and Vedanta. These are the 6 systems of Indian philosophy. Prior to that one, we have Vedas, Upanishads, and epics. Then after this one, we have contemporary Indian philosophers. Their contribution is very vast, especially during 19th century and 20th centuries. If you consider the Vedic literature, it can be broadly categorized into 2. One is Karma Kanda, which deals mainly about yajna, yagas, and mantras, and all these come under Karma Kanda. So Jaimini has written sutras, about 936 sutras. Shabara has written Bhashya on that one. So Prabhakara and Kumar Elbutta have written extensively on Karma Kanda. They have practiced also. On the other hand, Vedic literature also covers Jnana Kanda, spirituality, knowledge oriented. Vyasa Maharshi has contributed Brahma Sutras in 555 sutras. It is called Brahma Sutras, which covers Jnana Kanda of Vedas. Then Jaimini Sutra speaks about Karma Kanda of Vedas. So Vedic literature can be broadly classified into Karma Kanda, that is ritualistic, and Jnana Kanda, which is mainly which deals with knowledge, philosophy, spirituality. Then, on the other hand, considering yoga, the entire gamut of Indian philosophy may be covered under 4 yogas. One is Jnana Yoga, yoga of knowledge and practice of spirituality, predominantly by way of systematic inquiry and reflective thinking. So, Gnana, you have to apply your mind and experience the reality. So, second one is Bhakti Yoga, yoga of devotion towards the Supreme Self, worship and chanting hymns in praise of the Lord, all come under Bhakti Yoga. Devotion is predominant here. Then we have Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga means Hatha Yoga, or what you call eightfold path of yoga propounded by Patanjali Maharshi. Practitioner gets his body and mind purified initially and finally becomes qualified for practice of concentration and contemplation. He will ultimately meditate on his inner being and attain samadhi. This is the culmination of Raja Yoga or Hatha Yoga. Then finally, fourth one is Karma Yoga, which is mainly action oriented. Action oriented. Action without expecting any personal benefit, which is called Nishkama Karma. This is the whole gamut of teaching of Bhagavad Gita. performing duties or service to society, including activities of worship. All these are without any personal motive or worldly benefit. These duties and services are performed for the sake of God and thereby derives bliss for oneself. This is called Nishkama Karma, doing actions or doing service without expecting any personal rewards or personal benefit. Then Indian literature, the whole gamut or the whole culmination of Indian literature or Indian philosophy is found in this literature. Then we have epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Then Bhagavata, including 18 Puranas. Then Bhagavad Gita, the core of Mahabharata. Then Yoga Vasishta is the contribution of Vasishta Maharshi during the period of Ramayana. So Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata and 18 Purana and Yoga Vasishta. Then coming to the culmination of philosophical aspects or spiritual aspect, we have Panchadashi, the contribution of Vidyaranya. Sarvadarshana Sangraha, contribution during 16th century by Madhavacharya. Then Vachana Sahitya of 12th century in Karnataka, Ashtavakara Gita, Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Gnaneshwari, the contribution of Gnaneshwara Maharaj, then Vichara Chandrodaya, Vichara Sagara, Panchatantra and Hitopadesha, then Narada Bhakti Sutra, Shandilya Bhakti Sutra, Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, then Yogopanishad. All put together, there are 16 Upanishads which focuses on the philosophy of yoga practices. Then we have Viveka Chudamani, the contribution of Adi Shankaracharya. This is the core of Indian philosophy. If you cover this literature, you are thorough with Indian philosophy, including Shad Darshanas and the Prasthanatraya. Prasthanatraya covers Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and Brahma Sutras. All Vedantins have written bhashyas on this Prasthanatraya. What are these three? Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, and Upanishads. So, focusing on yoga philosophy, there are a lot of literature. The classics works I have brought to your kind attention. Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Gheranda Samhita, Amanaskaruta, Yoga Taravali, Yoga Karnika of Natha Aghorananda, Yogopanishad, Shat Chakra Nirupana, Hatha Ratnavali, Ghoraksha Shataka, Brihat Yoga Darshana, Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Hatha Tattva Kumudini, and Serpent Power, written by author Avalan. And these are the main classic works on yoga philosophy. So I would like to bring to your kind attention the encyclopedic work, which covers not only the Western philosophy, but also many important topics of Indian philosophy is covered in this Encyclopedia of Religion, which is in 16 volumes. 16-volume encyclopedia published by Macmillan. Then Bhagavad Gita, Radhakrishnan has written Indian philosophy, entire Indian philosophy in 2 volumes, volume 1 and volume 2. Then Sarva Darshana Sangraha is a very important monumental work during 16th century by Madhavacharya, Sayana Madhava, very important philosophers of 16th century. Then Yoga Vasishta is a very important spiritual discourse, a spiritual expoundation by Valmiki, dialogue between Sri Ramachandra and Valmiki. Then very important, don't forget this one, the contribution by P.V. Kane, Professor P.V. Kane. He has written extensively on history of Dharma Shastras. 8-volume set is there, published during 1930 and 1962. Very monumental work. The entire ethics and Indian culture is hidden in these 8 volumes. History of Dharma Shastras, which includes Indian ethics and ashramas and purusharthas. Deals with purusharthas, ashrama dharma, and Indian ethics. So online information sources, National Digital Library of India. The online access is facilitated by IIT Kharagpur. As of today, 60 million, 6 crore items are there you can access online. Then, as regards the ancient libraries, the syllabus focuses on ancient libraries. The library holdings were papyrus, palm leaves, clay tablets, copper parchment, and vellum. Nothing but information recorded on animal skin, copper plate etching, stone inscription, and silk cloth. So you have heard of Takshashila Educational Institution University, which was at Gandhara, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. It flourished during 5th century before Common Era up to 5th century, almost about 1000 years. Then Nalanda University, which was in Bihar during 5th century Common Era, flourished up to 13th century. Then Vikramshila, that it was also in Bihar, started way back in 3rd, 8th century before Common Era, and it was till 12th century Common Era. Why I am quoting these libraries? These were indicated in the syllabus. The holdings were very rich. The library arrangement was very systematic. The entire knowledge of Indian philosophy and literature, including medicine, science and technology, philosophy, literature, spirituality, Ayurveda Shastra, everything was in these ancient libraries. But during that time, printing technology was not there. Therefore, the holdings were in the form of papyrus, patra, palm leaves, tale clay tablets, parchment and vellum, animal skin, copper plate etching, stone inscription, information recorded on silk cloth. These libraries were burnt during war period. Though they flourished several centuries, finally the libraries were destroyed. Then coming to Upanishadic philosophy. So out of 10 major Upanishads, 10 or 11 major Upanishads, Ishavasya Upanishad, Kenopanishad, Prashnopanishad, then Kathopanishad, Mundakopanishad, Mandikupanishad, Aitari Upanishad, Taitiri Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, and Chandogopanishad. These were the major 10 Upanishads, predominantly with the spiritual knowledge of Indian sages. So, Mundaka Upanishad speaks of two ways of knowing, two kinds of knowledge. One is Paravidya, empirical one, what we study for our daily livelihood, and another is Paravidya, that is for transcendental knowledge, spiritual knowledge. So, empirical knowledge speaks about Vedas, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandasu, and Jyotisha. These were taught to the disciples in ashramas by gurus, multidisciplinary, including Ayurveda Shastra, Dhanurvidya, then Sangita Vidya, and all these several branches of knowledge. Therefore, Indian knowledge system in ancient days were multidisciplinary. The guru was teaching to his students the knowledge required for daily livelihood and also knowledge to attain moksha or freedom. Then study covered Dhanurvidya, Ayurveda, Jyotishya Shastra, including Sangita Shastra. This was expounded in Mundaka Upanishad. Then coming to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, here we come across teaching and learning process. How teaching and learning was there in the period of Vedas, especially in Upanishadic period. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we come across the dialogue between Yajnavalkya and his wife Maitreyi. Yajnavalkya was a sage of higher order, and Maitreyi, his wife, she was interested in spiritual knowledge. One day, she asked Yajnavalkya to teach her the spiritual knowledge to attain moksha, supreme self. Then Yajnavalkya says, the spiritual knowledge or supreme self, I am going to teach you. So the process is hearing. I will teach you. You carefully listen to my teaching. That is hearing, Shravana. Shravana is very important. First, either you have to study or you have to listen to Guru and carefully listen to him. Upanishad means Upa means near, Ni means devotion, Shad means sitting. Sitting by the side of Guru, listening to secret doctrines of spirituality. This is the explanation given by Adi Shankaracharya for Upanishads. So here, Yajnavalkya says to his wife, he teaches the ultimate reality. Shravana, you have to listen, carefully listen to my teaching. Second, after listening, you have to apply your mind, reflective thinking, manana. Continuously, you have to think reflectively on what I have taught. Then finally, nididhyasana, continuously contemplate on the core of teaching, hearing, reflective thinking, and contemplating. Thereby, you can assimilate knowledge and experience what I have taught. It is not only just understanding, not only just grasping the ideas, it is mainly for experience, practical experience. The Guru says, you are Brahman. The Lord is like this. And immediately you have to feel, you have to experience, you have to become enlightened. You have to become enlightened. That is the ultimate purpose of teaching during the period of Upanishads. Then dialogue, I have a dialogue between Janaka Maharaja and Yajnavalkya in same Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This is about the knowledge assimilation. Here we identify real light and serves our daily activities. Yajnavalkya says, daily you go out, do the work and return home because of the light of sun and moon. Then in the absence of light, the sound serves as the light. In the absence of light of sun, moon and stars, the sound, where the sound comes from, you will try to concentrate and you will go in that direction. Sound serves as the light. In the absence of light as well as sound, you are the light, yourself, your core self, your Chaitanya, and your intellect serves as the light, that which is behind the intellect, the chit swarupa, prajna, the prajna which is there in you serves as light. Therefore, it is called Swayam Jyoti, Swayam Prakasha. So it illuminates on its own. Continuously it illuminates. It will never cease to illuminate. Illumination. So this is the core teaching of Yajnavalkya Rishi to Janaka Maharaja. Then in Kathopanishad, we come across a strange way of teaching and learning by Yama. Here, Yama acts as teacher and Nachiketa, a boy of 8 years old, is the student or the disciple of Yama. There was a dialogue between Yama and Nachiketa. Yeah, Nachiketa asked Yama about life after death. After man dies, whether he exists or not. Some people say he exists. Some people say it doesn't exist. So you tell me, this was the question put forth by Nachiketa to Yama. Yama responds, the path of Shreyas and Preyas, two kinds. Shreya, Preyas means worldly wealth, worldly pleasures. If you learn vidyas for to attain knowledge and pleasures, to get pleasures and to get worldly wealth, the what you learn or what knowledge you acquire is called Preyas. Shreyas means the ultimate reality, attaining the ultimate reality and becoming enlightened with spiritual knowledge. That is called Shreyas. So, what are the benefits? Nachiketa asks Yama, all right, if I focus on Shreyas, the uh, ultimate reality, our supreme self, or the Lord, So what are the benefits I am going to get? So the teacher Yama says, you are going to attain bliss, bliss of the Lord. You will get Ananda. And second one, you will become immortal, immortality. That is Amrutatva. You will get Ananda and you will attain Amrutatva. That is to say, one benefit you are going to get is you will become blissful. Secondly, you will become immortal. You will go beyond death. These two are the benefits because of attainment of enlightenment. As soon as you become enlightened, you will become blissful and you will attain immortality. So know thyself was the teaching put forth by Yama. So again he said Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, hearing, reflective thinking and contemplating. Thereby you will become enlightened. This was the teaching of Yama to Nachiketa. So ultimately he says there are three states of experience. One is waking state. The second one is dreaming state. The third one is dreamless deep sleep state. All of us are experiencing these three states of experience. So there was dreaming state, now it disappears. Dreaming state is there now, is suddenly it vanishes. So the self or the witness that is there just behind the mind grasps the existence of dreaming state and vanishing of dreaming state. That is the ultimate reality. This was the teaching of Yama to Nachiketa ultimately. So you are the witness for three states of experience. You are the witness for dreaming state, waking state, and deep sleep. These three states of experiences are there for everybody as a human being, and just behind the mind, the prajna or the supreme self is there. That is there as witness. It is witness for dreaming state, witness for waking state, witness for dreamless deep sleep state. This was the core teaching in Kathopanishad by Yama to Nachiketa. So while coming to Chandogya Upanishad, there was teaching by Uddalaka to his son Shvetaketu. Shvetaketu was of 8 years old and Uddalaka his father, middle-aged man. There was dialogue between them. Here you can carefully observe the process of teaching and learning. The student Nachiketa or Shvetaketu here asks his father, where is the reality in the universe? Or where is Brahman or God in this universe? Then his father as teacher responds, reality is all pervading. Ishyavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. It is there everywhere, entire universe. The reality is there in the entire universe. It is there in every item, and he exists out beyond every item is within him. He exists in everything, and everything is within him. This was the teaching of Ishavasya Upanishad. The same teaching was put forth by Uddalaka to Shvetaketu. Ultimately, he says everything emanates from subtle. As salt exists in sea water, so if you taste sea water, it is salty. It is salty. Wherever you taste, it is salty. Just like that, Brahman is everywhere in this universe. So in the entire sea, you will come across salt. If you taste seawater anywhere in the world, it is salty. Salt is dissolved everywhere in the sea. Similarly, in the entire universe, the ultimate reality or the supreme self exists in entire universe. It's dissolved in entire universe. So Kenopanishad, here the ultimate reality, supreme self teaches the group of gods, Kena Upanishad. Suddenly, the gods, after winning the battle against demons, they were appreciating themselves with ego. Then suddenly there appeared bright light in front of them. Then they become afraid. Then leader of gods, Indra, he instructs, he says, Agni to go and find out who is that bright light, who is that. Agni approaches and says, who are you? Then immediately it responds, all right, before that you tell me who are you? It says, I am Agni. Then he says, what you can do? What is your power? Then Agni says, I can burn everything in this universe. Whatever that exists in this universe, I am capable of burning into ashes. Then the ultimate reality, which appeared in the form of light, then placed a blade of grass. He says, you try on this blade of grass, you are capable of burning this one. Agni tried but failed. He returned immediately. He informed Indra about what happened. Then Indra sends Vayu for inquiry. Vayu went there and he said, I am Vayu. I will push aside everything is in this universe. I am with the strength of pushing everything inside. Then suddenly it placed a blade of grass in front of him and says, you try this. If you are capable, you push it aside. He placed blade of grass. He tried with all might but failed. He returned again. Then the group of God approached the bright light. Then it said, because of me, you have won in the war against demons. So you must aware of spirituality, the reality that is there in the universe. I will teach you. First, you come shunning your egoness. You come without egoisticness. You drop your ego and sit before me. I will teach you the spirituality that is there in this universe. So even today, the students, before getting instructions from Guru, he has to sit with devotion, removing the entire ego that is there in inside. This was the teaching of Kenopanishad. So Antevasa was very predominant during the days. Antevasa means the disciple used to stay with Guru in ashramas. The disciples, nearly 6 to 12 years, they used to stay along with Guru in ashramas. This was technically called Antevasa. This we come across in Chandogya Upanishad. Here, Prajapati, the head of lords, the teachers Indra and Virochana. Indra, the leader of gods, and Virochana, the leader of demons. They approached Prajapati and requested them to teach about the Supreme Self. Then Indra said, you serve in my ashram for 32 years. They served, then he took them, both of them, to a pond of water. Then both of them peeped in the water. They saw their image. Then Prajapati said, what you see in the water, your image, is the reality. That is the Supreme Self. Then both of them returned. Virochana, the leader of demons, he instructed that this very body is the reality. It should be protected and it should be nourished. Indra, on his way, he struck with a doubt and he returned. So if a man is blind, if I am blind, I cannot see my image. This is the difficulty I came across while contemplating. Then Prajapati said, you stay with me for another 32 years. I will tell you further. Then after 32 years, he said, so in the dream, the fear is the reality. So you experience a dreaming state, you go out, work, you return in the dreaming state. So what you see in dream, the fear is the reality. So he returned with thanks, but on the way struck with a doubt. So dreaming state vanishes immediately. It is not on permanent basis. Then Prajapati said, I will teach you further. You stay with me for another 32 years and serve in the ashram. After 32 years, he says, so that which is the witness for dreaming state is the reality. What is behind dreaming state? Dreaming state exists, dreaming state vanishes. The witness is the reality. This was the teaching of Chandogya Upanishad, the dialogue between Prajapati on one hand and Indra and Virochana on the other. So Charaka, the father of Ayurvedic medicine in India. So at the age of 8, he went to Himalayas to study Ayurveda Shastra. One day, Guru said, "The king of this country is going to come to this ashram next week. So you make a clear path to come to the ashram without any difficulty. So you have to remove branches of trees, shrubs, and climbers which are not so important, and make way for king and his men to arrive at the ashram." After 1 week, Guru came to the place and he saw nothing was removed. He asked Charaka, what happened? Charaka said, everything is full of medicinal value. I could not able to remove any branches of trees, any shrubs or climber. Everything is full of medicinal value. Then the Guru became very happy. You have learned everything about Ayurveda Shastra. What I teach in 12 years, you have learned in 4 years, you can go back. So Charaka learned everything because of Shraddha. Shraddha is very important. Shraddha means interest, innate interest, exhibited by Ekalavya also. Shraddha is there, you will learn everything within no minutes. Very important aspect is Shraddha, interest. So in Taittiriya Upanishad, another very important Upanishad, Guru teaches his disciples for several years. On the final day, he arranges farewell function. One of the students asked questions. Sir, after returning home, what we should do? The Guru responds, after returning home, you have to continuously practice Svadhyaya and Pravachana. Svadhyaya means study of text, important text. Reading is very important, even for us. Study of latest subjects in our discipline, study of classics, core philosophy or spirituality, that reading is very important and you have to teach continuously. Swadhyaya and Pravachana, that should be there in home. This was the response given by teacher in Taittiriya Upanishad. So here I am trying to tell you how the teaching and learning was practiced during the period of Upanishads. I have brought you several examples depicted in Upanishads. There we come across Mahavakyas, Pragnanam, Anandam, Prajna. Prajna is the supreme self. Prajna, what is there in our behind mind. Witness is Prajna. Ayamatma Brahma. My Atman is the supreme self. Tattvam Asi. I am also that supreme self. Then Aham Brahmasmi. I am that supreme self. This is the revelation and Mahavakyas. So you have to grasp and experience the reality by means of Shravana, continuously listen to the teachings of Guru, applying reflective thinking, Manana, and continuously contemplating on the core, that is Nididhyasana. The teacher should also write according to Panini. So in Shad Darshanas, 6 systems of Indian philosophy, we have Nyaya Sutras of Gautama, which explains the ways of knowing, the ways of acquiring knowledge. One is Pratyaksha, that is through senses you acquire knowledge. Second one, through reasoning you acquire knowledge. Third one is by existing literature, by going through the literature, you acquire knowledge. Third one. Fourth one is by comparison, by giving comparison, you can grasp the core of knowledge. So these are the main four ways of knowing according to Gautama Rishi in Nyaya Sutra. Senses what they acquire, what they experience and get knowledge, reasoning, then literature, then comparison, pratyaksha, anumana, shabda, and upamana. There are fallacies also. Then Vaisheshika, the Kanada Rishi, father of atomic theory, he has classified the entire thing of the universe into 7 categories: Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha, Samavaya, Abhava. So this was the contribution of Kanada Rishi in Vaisheshika philosophy. Then we have Sankhya. 24 tattvas are there. These tattvas evolve because of sattva, rajas, and tamas. They evolve because of prakriti. Because of the self. Tattvas evolve because of purusha. Prakriti, comprising of 24 tattvas, they evolve for the sake of purusha, for experience of purusha. Then Yoga Sutras. Yoga Sutra is for well-being of human being. He has written on Ayurveda Shastra, Vyakarana, and Yoga. But very important is eightfold path of yoga, Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali. So 4 steps are Bahiranga sadhanas, and the remaining 4 steps are Antaranga sadhana. So what are these 8 steps? Yama, Niyama. Yama is prohibition and Niyama is prescription. Asana, postures, pranayama, control of breath, pratyahara, withdrawal of senses, dharana, concentration, dhyana, contemplation, samadhi, means super consciousness, becoming enlightened. So before practicing yoga, he has given certain basic principle, basic things what the yogi requires. One is he has to practice ahimsa, non-violence. Then he has to speak truth, satya, speaking truth. Asteya, not accepting what is given by others, prohibiting from stealing. Aparigraha, amassing wealth, is prohibited. Indriya nigraha, he must control self-restraint. These are the 5 basic requirements for yogi. So Patanjali teaches under Yama these 5 basic ethics. So Indian ethics comprises of these 5 things. One is ahimsa, speaking truth, non-stealing, not accumulating everything, and self-restraint, indriya nigra. Very important. This covers everything of Indian ethics or ethical philosophy. So Niyama covers Saucha, Santosha, Swadhyaya, study of text. Very important aspect. Even Patanjali speaks of studying text on continuous basis throughout life. Then tapas for controlling mind and body, taming mind and body. Then submitting fruits of action to law, that is Ishvara Pranidhana. So what is important in the philosophy of yoga is overcoming avidya, ignorance, asmita, identifying ourselves with the body, that is ego, and overcoming raga, craving for things, dvesha, hatredness, then abhimanavesha, assumption or pretension. So the yogi should overcome these 5 constraints. This is the core teaching of Patanjali in yoga philosophy. The ultimate is to establish himself in his soul. Swarupe avasthanam yoga. He has to establish in himself. So that is the ultimate objective of practicing yoga in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So in Indian philosophy, way back in 9th century, we have come across Vachaspati Mishra, a sage of 9th century. He was at the age of 23, 24, he married. He was put up on the outskirts of the forest. He was living in a hermit. He was living in a hermit life, simple life, leading the life of a saint. Then he had married at the age of 23, 24. So he was reading texts, one after the other he was reading. He has written extensively on Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, and Yoga philosophy, including Advaita Vedanta of Shankaracharya. He was reading, rereading, he was continuously applying reflective thinking, he was trying to meditate on the core of philosophy. In this process, he used to enter meditative trance, samadhi. Occasionally, he used to get up and start writing his commentary. His wife used to serve food at the right time. She used to pour oil to the lamp at the right time. So he had lost, uh, he was not aware of the external world, even day and night, he was not aware. So one day, due to strong wind currents, the lamp put off. The entire area pitched dark. Vachaspati was disturbed. He could not able to write or read. He sat for some time. Then gradually he acquired consciousness. Then he wondered where I am sitting, and he saw around him. At a distance, he saw a lady coming with a lamp in her hand. She came and placed the lamp on his desk. In that light, he looked at her and asked her, "Who are you?" Immediately she responded, "I am your wife. Have you forgotten me?" Then suddenly he looked at himself. His beard had grown long, his beard had turned grey. Then he suddenly realized where exactly he is sitting and when he got married. Then immediately he said, you have to forgive me. You have to forgive me. She felt sorry for her. Then immediately she responded, so I am not worried about what is going on. So my contribution is also there in what you are doing now. So he named that work after her. Her name was Bhamati. He named the text after her, Bhamati. Even today, Bhamati happens to be a very important text for Buddhist, Jains, and Vedantis. For certain important philosophical problems, they used to refer what Vachaspati is telling about this aspect. So Vachaspati sat there for almost 2.5 decades studying texts and composing commentaries. So nowhere in the world we come across anybody regarding the rapt reading. Reading with rapt attention. You will not come across anywhere in the world. You cannot compare Vachaspati Mishra with anybody in this world. He sat there for reading for almost 2.5 decades. Sage of 9th century, Vachaspati Mishra, his wife Bhamati. The work was called Bhamati. The book was named after her. Then Karna, he practiced charity, very interested in charity, finance, and Shraddha, interest. So a group of sages, they were performing yajna in the days of famine. For yajna, they were in need of 60 cartloads of firewood. Immediately, they approached Pandavas. First, they approached Dharmaraya. They requested him for 60 cartloads of firewood. Dharmaraya said during the days of famine, we are also facing shortage of firewood in the palace. Anyway, I will give you half of what is available in the palace. Next day, they went to Bhima and Arjuna. They were sitting together. Then, as soon as the sages explained their requirement, Bhima became wild and started scolding the sages for having selected the sacrifice in the days of famine. Sacrifice means yajna. Then finally, they approached Nakula and Sahadeva. They listened to them. Then they said, we will try to give you what is available in the palace. And then the rest we will also try to collect from the nearby forest. Finally, last day, they went to Karna. Karna at that time was a downtown. As soon as the sages approached Karna, the Karna assured them of 60 cartloads of firewood. He called his attendant, ordered him to bring down the wooden pillars and beams of his palace and convert them into firewood. The entire half of his palace was brought down. The wooden pillars and beams were converted into the firewood. Suddenly, after noticing this, Dharmaraya approached Krishna and said, "How come we did not come across this idea?" Krishna said, Karna is a man of charity. He is really interested in charity. Therefore, he come across all ways and means of doing things. You are in no way comparable with Karna as far as charity is concerned. Therefore, Karna was a man of charity, so people of the world remembers him because of charity. Charity, deep finance, then interest, Shraddha. Here you come across this example, Karna. Adi Shankaracharya also put forth certain ethical aspect. One should acquire knowledge. If you want to acquire the knowledge of Supreme Self, or if you are a student, if you study and acquire knowledge in a right way, according to Shankaracharya, one should have these 6 qualities. So mind should become calm, the body should sit for a long duration, one should practice tolerance, one should have Shraddha, interest in studies, and peaceful of mind is very important. Then Samadhana, calmness is these are the 6 qualities. Shamadamadi Shatka Sampata. Viveka, number 1. Vairagya is number 2. Shamadamadi Shatka Sampata, number 3. And Mumukshatva. Mumukshatva means objective of attaining the ultimate reality or becoming enlightened, the ultimate objective. Shama, Dama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Shanti, Samadhana. These are the qualities required for students in those days, during the days of Upanishadic and Vedic times, including the Vedantin period. Shama, mind, calmness of mind. So body, one should sit for a long duration without any disturbance. Dhamma, titiksha, should practice tolerance. Then Shraddha, interest in learning. Then Shanti, one should be peaceful. Peace of mind is core in everything. Then one should be calm while studying. These are the 6 qualities required for a sadhaka according to Adi Shankaracharya. Then how do you differentiate between a teacher and a guru? Teacher takes responsibility of growth of students, whereas guru makes students responsible for growth. Teacher answers questions of students. Normal, students will be asking questions in the end and teacher will be answering. Here, on the other hand, guru questions the answers of students further. Counter question, thereby students will be made to think further, contemplate further and come out with answers. This is especially so in case of Zen masters. They give coins for the students to think continuously and come out with answers. Then number 3, disciple is enforced on students. Discipline is enforced on students. So in schools and colleges, the student should follow disciplines. Whereas in case of guru, he requires trust and submission of student. Upanishad, sitting by the side of guru with devotion. Egolessness is very important, is required for guru. Then here, teacher is responsible for your knowledge. So whatever knowledge the student procures, the teacher is responsible. So in case of guru is responsible for your wisdom, the entire wisdom. Acquiring information is nothing but is different from acquiring wisdom. Wisdom is very important. So teacher emphasizes on acquisition of information, facts, figures, then information. He has to remember. Whereas in case of Guru, he emphasizes on practical experience. So philosophical spiritual knowledge means experience is very important. Teacher prepares you for outward journey, whereas Guru prepares you for inward journey. Teacher sharpens your mind. You have to become intelligent, shrewd. You have to become. In case of Guru, he tries to open your mind. You have to open your mind. Answer with open mind, without bias. Then teacher is more of instructive education. In case of teacher, it is more of instructive education, whereas in case of Guru, he aims at constructive education. So teacher aims at systematic approach. There is systematic approach in colleges and schools, whereas in case of Guru, he aims at holistic approach. Holistic approach. It includes not only body, it involves not only body and mind, but also spirituality, creative thinking, analytical mind. Then ethics is also combined with spiritual knowledge. So teacher makes you competent to solve problems, how to resolve problems, whereas Guru makes you competent to prevent problems. Prevention is more important than solving problems. So Guru is compared with mirror. He will help you to see yourself. What are the defects of a student? He will help you to see your own defects. He will help you to see your own inner core, your own self. Who am I? Who am I? He will help the students to get answer for who am I. Then he is compared with map. He will try to help you to go back to your abode, original place, Atman or Brahman. So he is compared with full knowledge. Guru is full of knowledge. So he will make you knowledgeable. Wisdom. Then Sparshamani. Sparshamani. He will also make you another Guru. So Sparshamani will make everything, wherever it touches it, because the thing becomes gold, but it cannot prepare another Sparshamani. Whereas Guru, he makes the student another Guru. So that is the greatness of Guru. So assist and serve the master. The students or the disciple in Vedic period or in India, assist and serve the master, including his family, in day-to-day household work, and thereby gains his affection and blessings. Listen to the discourse of the master and ultimate reality. After knowing which there remains nothing to be known. After knowing the ultimate reality, there remains nothing to be known. The disciples contemplate through reflective thinking and attempt to visualize and realize their own true nature, which is considered as ultimate reality, supreme self, or enlightenment. Communication of spiritual knowledge is through Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Very important. This is the core of Upanishadic philosophy, the way of understanding, a way of experiencing. One become wisdomful, one become knowledgeable through hearing. The Guru teaches, the student carefully listens to his teaching. He applies reflective thinking, continuously think on that one and contemplate on the core of teaching, spiritual knowledge, Nididhyasana. Swami Vivekananda, according to him, education is, we want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, intellectual is expanded, by which one can stand on his own feet. So education must build up character and manifest our real nature. Personality is the influence, the impression one creates on other. So he emphasizes on intellect. Intellect is to expand, and one is capable of standing on his own feet. It is man-making. Very important aspect is man-making. So education is a lifelong process according to Swami Vivekananda. Education is not the amount of information that we put into our brain and runs riots there, undigested. All your life building, man making, and character making, assimilation of knowledge is holistic learning. Very important here in 3 lines. All your life building, man-making, and character-making. Assimilation of knowledge is holistic education according to Swami Vivekananda. Then Rabindranath Tagore about holistic education. The highest education is that which does not merely give us information but makes our life in harmony with existence. In harmony with existence is very important according to Rabindranath Tagore. So Sri Aurobindo from West Bengal, the instructor. So teacher is instructor or guru is instructor or not instructor or task member. He is a helper and guide. Business is to suggest, not to impose. It does not make a train and people's mind. It shows him how to become perfect instruments of knowledge and help and encourages us the process. So Madan Mohan Malviya, about education, he has also got ideas. Very important idea. Education should be accessible to all. Very important in 20th century, regardless of their social and economic status. So education should be access to all, regardless of their social and economic status. Madan Mohan Malviya's education philosophy emphasized the integration of traditional Indian knowledge with modern education, character building, moral values, and equal access to education for all. Very aspect. Indian knowledge system and Indian tradition and philosophy is included here. Indianness, he emphasizes on Indianness, Indian tradition, Indian culture. So satsang in those days were very famous. The guru teaches the disciples. Satsang is the group of disciples, sadhakas, join together and participate in the spiritual discourses, interactions, and such other spiritual philosophical program. It is a platform where guru teaches his disciples not only spirituality but also life skills and ethics. Very important aspect. Ashrama way of life. In those days, students used to acquire knowledge and they get skills in ashramas. Stages in the life of an individual. At every stage, student learns Vidya and performs duties to achieve the designated objectives. Brahmacharya, students live in ashramas and with guru and acquires knowledge and wisdom required for daily livelihood and spiritual attainment. Grihastha leading the life at home with wife and children. Vanaprasthana leading the life of a hermit, leading the life of a hermit, and it is a beginning and a way of it is being away from the family with the main objective of spiritual goal. Sannyasashrama prescribes renunciation and spirituality. The ultimate aim is attainment of absolute freedom, moksha, or becoming enlightened. That in these four stages, the students used to get skills, life skills, as well as knowledge required for daily livelihood as well as ultimate reality. So Purushartha means human values because only man is capable of pursuing values consciously. There are four Purusharthas. Artha, acquiring material wealth in accordance with Dharma. Very important aspect. Wealth and money should be acquired in accordance with Dharma, never without Dharma. Then kama, satisfying desires and pleasures, definitely not violating dharma. So within the circle of dharma, the one should or the sadhaka in those days should acquire artha and kama, acquire wealth and pleasures. Then dharma, leading the ethical way of life, ahimsa, asteya, aparigraha, indriya nigraha. So leading the ethical way of life, then not harming others. This is the core philosophy of Dharma, not harming others. Non-violence is very important. Speaking truth is very important. Non-stealing and not amassing wealth is Dharma. Then moksha is nothing but attaining the ultimate reality, realizing of Brahman, becoming enlightened. It is called Parama Purusharthas. These are the four Purusharthas, human values. One value is Artha, wealth, another value is Kama, pleasures, Dharma, ethical conduct, Moksha means liberation or ultimate, attaining ultimate reality or freedom. So Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan Center, which is at Mysore University, Radhakrishnan stayed here for almost 3.5 years. Now this has been converted into Library of Indian Philosophy, mainly housing books and magazines relating to Shad Darshanas and Indian philosophy, six systems of Indian philosophy.